Hello, I'm Heather Ryan with 3D Molecular Designs, and I'm here to help you guys assemble your Molecules of Life kit. You'll need your kit, and we recommend a few other items. 5 quart-sized zip bags to put each of the different molecules in. A scissors will be useful, along with a Sharpie marker. And then another optional thing is that you can print a sheet of parts lists from our website, and you can attach these to the plastic bags, and that will help your students or any other helpers know what pieces you want to go where. To start with, we recommend that you take out your sticker sheet and cut along the lines for the different pieces. This will just make assembly easier because you'll need to you might want to bend the sticker sheet a bit in order to get all of the stickers off. Okay, we're starting with the sugars first, so go ahead and find that foam piece. You have your stickers, and I like to use the contents list as a guide. You can go ahead and punch out each of the foam pieces. And the centers. I recommend keeping all of these things, your foam scraps and these center pieces, and adding them to your modeling supplies. Okay, so then I'm going to line up my 4 glucose and my 1 fructose molecule. And the stickers are going to be easy because they just go on our open atoms. So we'll take our sticker sheet and just bend the sticker sheet until you can find a place where you can start peeling the sticker. Some of them will be easier than others. When you run into one that doesn't necessarily want to come off, like this, go ahead and pull up the side you can and see if you can get it started somewhere else on the opposite side. When that becomes a challenge, what I like to do is I hold it down on the table, and then I apply even pressure on the sides, and it will separate. We are starting with the sugars because these are the circles are the easiest ones to go ahead and apply. So you're going to practice on the easy ones before we get to that challenging DNA. Again, I've come to a challenging part, so if I just put it down and hold, then I can pull off. Okay, we have all of our sugars now. Okay, now we can put these away into our zip bag with the correct labels. One down, 3 to go. Next up are amino acids. We're going to have our foam sheet, the stickers, the side chain property groups, and our reference. Go ahead and punch out all of the amino acids. Again, keeping that for craft supplies. You'll notice we need to remove the tiny notch out of these so that your students will be able to connect them. And again, I would even keep those in my modeling supplies kit. Okay, We're going to add the oxygens on this carboxylic acid side first. So just focus on the red stickers to begin with.
Okay, now we're going to put our nitrogen and oxygen atoms on the amine side. And you will notice that there is a white part to the sticker. So these will be a little bit more challenging, but again, I'd start on the nitrogen side and find a place where the sticker is going to come up easily. And if it doesn't come up easily into the hydrogen, then I would look for a place to start on the hydrogen side. And getting this here. And then applying even pressure to be able to get the piece off. Then we're just going to put the sticker over that notch, just like that. And again, starting on the nitrogen side, and then finding a place where you can get started on the hydrogen. Okay, then I would take our properties out, and you can see how they'll connect on the top there, and put everything away in our zip bag.
Next up will be the phospholipids. For the phospholipids, make sure you have your foam pieces, your stickers, and your reference sheet.
You can start by popping out all of the foam pieces. And the glycerols have those notches that you need to remove. Then we want to be careful that we're going to get the stickers on the correct side of these pieces. So I would start with our glycerols because those have the stamps in them, so that is the side we want to have up. And then I would make sure that you can arrange the fatty acids so that they will be able to connect. You can see those there. And we do have the reference on the sheet here that you need 2 facing one way and 2 facing the other. So now we're just going to put oxygens on these top atoms. Again, starting with the easiest, round stickers. Okay, now our fatty acid tails are done. The 2 glycerols, we are going to put an oxygen over each of these notches. Okay, the glycerols are done. It is good to check and make sure that you have your phosphate head groups facing the right way. And then we're going to put a nitrogen on those center atoms. And then we're going to add the phosphates down here. So we have the 3 oxygens. I'm going to try to lift each of those up first. Center it over the piece. Okay. Now our phospholipids are done. Now we just have to put them in the zip bag. And then we're going to do the nucleotides. Want to make sure you have your gray nucleotide foam and the red foam, along with your stickers, your reference sheet of the contents, and a scissors and a marker will help out at this point. Go ahead and punch out just the sugars to begin with. Set the rest to the side, and I'm going to punch out the center pieces. Okay, we are going to go ahead and add the oxygen onto each of our sugars. Once you have the sugars done, you can punch out the large pieces from the red foam. And go ahead and punch out the little piece where the notch is. So these are the pieces that you need to be careful and to make sure that you are getting the stickers on the right side. So to do that, I want to make sure that I'm going to connect each of my phosphates to the sugar. And then it's easy and we can just add the phosphates to the center of the red foam. Okay, now our sugars and phosphates are done. So far we've been just peeling off the stickers from the sheet. I think it's a little bit easier at this point for these big stickers to peel the backing off and to leave the stickers on the paper. And it's also then a little easier to cut between each of these nucleotides. You do want to be careful though, because wherever there is a straight line on the nitrogen, that means that there is a hydrogen there. So you want to make sure you don't cut those. So what I've started doing is to draw a line between, I know that there's an oxygen here, and my nitrogen. And so I'm going to just draw a little line between the white hydrogen and the piece next to it. And that will help make sure that I don't cut any of my hydrogens. Okay, and then I'm just going to connect some of these lines so that I don't forget what I am doing. Okay. we're going to do these stickers at the end. While I have my marker out, there was one last thing I was supposed to do over here on my sugars. So I forgot to add the little prime mark on our 5' to 3'. Our die makers could not make marks that small. Okay, there we go. So it is possible to just pull up the labels, the stickers, like we have been doing on the others. I think this is my 6th kit now, and I found that it's a little easier to to do it this way. And if you do happen to cut into a label, it's not a problem because you can just peel off the 2 sections and stick them on the foam and no one will know. I'm just going to trim around these other sides. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to my gray foam and punch out the 4 nucleotides, but do not punch out those center sections. So the center section we want to leave in because we're going to add our labels to those at the end. You can punch out the 2 smaller ones. Okay, now is the hard part of trying to figure out which piece goes with which sticker. And you can go ahead and use the contents for reference. And what I like to do is take a foam piece and figure out where it sits on top. Okay? And you can use and go ahead and rotate until you think you have one that fits. So I didn't think this one was going to match up there. So, see, I don't have 2 rings here, so let me move on to here. And I think that will go here. And here we go. Okay. Let's start with an easy one. And we're going to go ahead and set the piece to the side and then start to peel the label. And the sticker may come up along with the edges, but go ahead and just push down on the sticker and keep it down there until you find a section that's going to come away easily. And then I'm just very gently pulling this up. Don't want to jinx myself, but that was coming up fairly easily. So now it's just the part around the hydrogens. Couple of edges that did not want to come up there, that is fine. We'll get those later. And I often forget to do the center section. So we'll see if I can remember to do that first on the next one. So we'll peel that out. And just like with the circles, apply even pressure to be able to separate it. Okay, so now we just have the sticker here. And again, I'm going to set my foam piece on the way it will go. And then I can peel the sticker and carefully line it up. Okay, you'll see that my hydrogens aren't quite round there. So I'm going to take my scissors again and I can just round those sides off. Cut those points off. Okay, and there we go. Now we'll go to our tea and peel off the backing until I can find a place where it wants to get started. And this way you don't have to try to keep the part that's coming off nice. You just peel the sticker, you still have a large piece, but you're trying to make sure it doesn't stick to itself. Okay. Forgot to do that center part again. Okay, I'm going to get everything lined up again. And there we go. On to the A. We can do those center pieces first. Okay, I've got hydrogens there, so I'm going to start over here. Up. There we go. Gonna trim off this side here. for the most complicated one. Do those center sections. Lining up the piece and the sticker. There you go. Now, we just have the nucleotide labels. One of the things that Tim recommends is to always have your GC and AT base pairs in this orientation. And he thinks that helps your students learn the nucleotides. So, if we get our GC, okay, there we go. If we get the GC base pair in the same orientation here, and then our AT, what am I doing here? There we go. This is the A and the T. And then we can go ahead and apply the sticker labels, and they will be right side up. Making it a little easier for your students. And I almost forgot, this isn't quite a T yet. We're going to have to add the last two foam pieces. Okay, if you go back to your nucleotide sheet, you'll see that you have one extra atom and an extra centerpiece. And so this is going to go right in here. That makes our T. And then if you want to change it to uracil, you can remove that piece and then insert that label instead. Okay, so almost done assembling your Molecules of Life kit, but you've gotten through the hardest parts now. So all of this is going to go in my nucleotide bag. the last part is going to be your oxygen and hydrogen pieces. Okay, the last thing we need to do for the assembly of our molecules of life kits is to punch out all of these oxygen and hydrogen atoms for our water molecules. So go ahead and start with all of those oxygens. And then there are all of these notches that you need to pull the little pieces out of. I think these could be a great addition to your modeling craft supplies. And I bet your students could find things in the cell modeling kit to use them for. Okay, I'm gonna slide these in the zip bag. And then we just have the hydrogens to punch out. If your fingers are tired of punching out foam, which when you're on kit 5, 6, 10, 18, it's my bin behind me, you can start to use, we would use chopsticks, but you can use the end of a marker and things, and then that can help make it easier to punch out. Back when the Amino Acids starter kit had foam side chains that we would have to glue magnets on, we would be punching out thousands of side chains at a time. And our staff started to use chopsticks to do that. Okay. So with that, your Molecules of Life modeling kit is all set. So thanks for watching with me, and happy modeling.